with Rob Weller. And now, here's Rob.
Bill McGowan, with the Emmys announced this morning, it means celebs have to start thinking about their acceptance speeches. But it's usually celebs who put their feet in their mouths, just like our host, Rob Weller. Let's talk about this with author Bill McGowan, his book, Perfect Pitch.
Pitch Perfect.
How to Get It Right the First Time. Welcome, Bill McGowan. What is this book about? How do I start with this book?
You start with this book as basically a way to rethink how you communicate so you can be more effective and more persuasive and get the results you want. Mm-hmm. And, with actors, you were talking about acceptance speeches.
Well,
I mean, I could move out here and make a living just on the award shows alone. It's unbelievable. One of the things I talk about in the book is you hear about needing to read the room, but you shouldn't overread the room. And what I mean by that is don't look at somebody who's got that in the ozone's expression on their face and assume that they're bored to tears, because I've had so many people, and Rob, you probably have had this too, where the most bored-looking person in the audience is the one who comes up to you afterwards and says, man, that was so fascinating what you were saying there. And you never would have picked that person out of the crowd.
And you want to say to them, and of all the people, you were the guy I hated the most. Why did you even have to be here?
Another good trick is find 4 good listeners in the audience.
Right.
The people who nod and smile.
Have you found any in this room yet?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sir, you're out of luck on this show, right. Bill.
And find one in each quadrant of the room, near right, far left, and so forth, and just play to those 4 people. If you have a trouble with big audiences, make this a conversation among you and those 4 people.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Wins the Oscar for Best Actor.
Right.
What was that acceptance speech that he did?
The problem with the Matthew McConaugheys and the Anne Hathaways is you don't want to feel like this person has done it into the mirror 25 times and they are acting as if it's thoughtful. It just leaves you with this icky feeling.
You talked about Gwyneth Paltrow did a thing, kind of an odd, foot in her mouth kind of a deal.
I called it her Marie Antoinette moment, where she basically was being interviewed about what it's like to be a movie star, and she did the woe is me. Nobody has any idea that we have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, be far away from home for weeks, not like average women who, have all this time in the morning to kind of, watch TV and
make
lounge.
pancakes.
Yes, I feel like she does that a lot. She's known for that.
Well, but she got more social bite back on that particular interview than any other. And in fact, it reminded me in terms of social backlash, because you can gauge it so quickly now. It's happening right now with Robin Thicke.
And his album, yeah.
This new album he did to win his ex-wife back.
Yeah.
It's a bomb. It's a massive bomb. And not only is it not selling, I think he sold like 500 copies in England, but people are twittering and they're just like...
I find that actors have a tendency to talk very abstractly, very, very theoretically about a show, and it starts to all sound kind of the same. And basically what viewers want is they want to feel like they have access to the actors, to behind the set, what went on the shoot.
Right. The good stuff.
The good stuff,
yeah.
Right. And I think actors have been conditioned to think that all of that information should be guarded. We shouldn't talk about what goes on on the set. I'm sure half of it is totally acceptable for public consumption. And what I try to do is get them to start thinking, I'm sure there were a lot of things that happened on the shoots that formed your character, or conversations you had with the person that character is based on. Tell me the first time you met that person,
Bill, thank you so much for being here. Pitch Perfect, How to Say It Right the First Time is the name of the book. Who published the book?
HarperCollins.
And where can we find the book?
You can find it on Amazon and all bookstores, around there.
And just one last word of advice to anybody that has to get up and speak in front of anything tomorrow.
Make everything around you slow down. The shot of adrenaline your body gets does bad things to you. It makes you fidget your feet. It makes you talk faster. It makes you breathy. And if you think about all the great athletes who've talked about why they're good in the clutch, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, they say that when the pressure's on, they manage to make everything around them slow down. And the same really is true of public speaking. Don't get swept up in the chaos of it. Take your time, breathe. Pausing is good. You don't have to have a steady stream of sound coming out of your mouth at every possible second.
Really good advice, Bill. Don't you think so, Andy?
Yes, Rob.
Bill, thank you very, very much.
Rob, good to see
Bill
you again.
McGowan from Clarity Media Group. Pitch Perfect. How to say it right the first time. Buy the book. Help this guy get his kid through college.